Sweet confections and heartwarming moments await in tonight's bedtime story for grown-ups. You are listening to The Cozy Bakery, a calm story for sleep set in a quaint Rhode Island village. Explore the charming main street on an unseasonably sunny day before a snowstorm rolls in. Spend the afternoon lost in the wonders of baking in Melody's Bakeshop, where life's simple pleasures conjure uplifting feelings and beloved memories. Come nightfall, retreat to a historic guesthouse as snow falls on the harbor village and you cuddle by a fire and fall asleep. It's time to dream away. Welcome to Michelle's Sanctuary. I am Michelle, your host and guide to dreamy escapes. Think of me as a longtime friend, always here to advocate for your comfort and happiness. You deserve to cherish these bedtime moments when you may celebrate making it through another day and reward yourself with a night of deep rest. Please feel free to subscribe before you settle, as you may wish to return to the story if sleep takes you away before it ends. Also, feel free to leave any suggestions you have in the comments. As always, I offer a kind reminder that you are completely in charge of your experience and may change the story however you see fit. In this sanctuary, we adapt with the freedom of a dream, without rules or limitations. My words are merely a framework, so remember your imagination is your precious gift to explore. Let's enjoy a brief series of conscious breaths to help you connect with your inner sanctuary. Set aside all concerns as you let out a big, audible sigh. Sigh everything away. When you are ready, inhale and imagine the air of your room becoming warm, aromatized by the familiar scents of your favorite baked goods. A haven from the cold of the world, you feel the love that a baker puts into their creations. As you exhale in a sigh, you may also yawn. Loving energy permeates the air and every cell in your body. Welcome this homey sense of comfort as you feel your belly and chest contract and you draw inward, sinking into the support of your pillows and bed. Everything in this moment becomes soft, nurturing, and supportive. And now you may continue and inhale and exhale once more, making this the biggest breath of the day. Savor the deliciousness of this time as you prepare for the story to unfold. Luxuriate in your breath as it returns to a natural, easier rhythm, and you open your heart and mind to the comforts of this bakery tale. It's time for the story to begin. Melody's Bakeshop sits on a charming lane off Main Street in a coastal Rhode Island town. The beloved bakery captures the rhythm of the off-season on a balmy March afternoon. Sunlight pours through the dozens of gleaming window panes, divided by century-old wood grills, painted the color of buttercream. Every pane offers a different glimpse into the store, narrowing one's focus on the cornucopia of freshly baked treats. Around the corner from a harbor filled with yachts in the summer months, adventurous souls from around the world have arrived at Melody's door to feel at home. You walk on a cobblestone sidewalk, peering into neighboring shops. The air carries the faint promise of spring, with the fertile smells of the recently thawed earth and a faint hint of the Atlantic that lingers in the unusually warm air. Sunlight saturates your face with sparkling golden light, warming you enough to loosen your scarf and the top button of your pea coat. The winter chill from the Atlantic sea air lingers, sharply felt with the slightest breeze, perhaps a warning of the incoming snowstorm. Such is the fickle nature of New England in March, where wearing layers is mandatory, and one may experience all 4 seasons of weather within 24 hours. But for now, the afternoon sun is pure delight, leaving warm hope on your cheeks. From the boulevards granting coastal access to the quaint streets tucked within the heart of the town, the architecture of centuries-old Victorian homes, Gilded Age stone palaces, Renaissance Revival mansions, and Cape Cod cottages create a storybook feel. The most regal dwellings have become museums and inns, so everyone is open to explore a glimpse into a long-ago world. The facades of shops and homes alike are vibrant with rich jewel tones and pastel hues, making even the stormiest and grayest of days feel colorful and warm. And even when big box stores and industry try to occupy this town of mom and pop businesses, they must conform to the historical aesthetic. As you walk around the town, you imagine a world where every village fought to maintain its beauty and charm instead of cutting corners for cost. Everything here feels like it was created to last and to be appreciated. You pass by a few locals, out walking their dogs and their children in strollers, to enjoy the fresh air and the glorious sun at a leisurely pace. There is a peaceful exchange with each unfamiliar face that soon feels familiar, with a natural camaraderie and greetings that ensue. Within a few blocks' distance of Melody's Bakeshop, the air becomes sweeter with the fragrance of buttery almond croissants, raspberry tarts, Boston cream pie, and freshly baked cookies, still warm from the oven. On days like these, Melody devotes much of her time to custom orders for birthday cakes and rush orders from local festivities that draw her neighbors out of hibernation for welcome gatherings. In summer, the shop bustles with locals and tourists seeking comfort in the aroma of freshly baked delights. But now the store exudes a slow-paced charm. The bell above the entrance jingles infrequently. That is until you enter with a smile, feeling as though you are about to meet an old friend. Melody first arrived in Rhode Island in her 20s. The daughter of Madeline, a renowned pastry chef on Manhattan's Upper West Side. While city life could feel quite chaotic, Melody was raised by a community of her neighbors who congregated often in the cozy basement laundrette. And while she loved this sense of community, since she was a little girl, her heart yearned to be by the sea in an old historic village. In the summer months, she would often escape to Vermont and stay with her mother's cousin, Martha. On humid summer mornings, she helped Martha and her husband Ike and their kids in the local general store. Her late afternoons were spent idly floating on her back in Lake Reverie, looking beyond the perimeter of treetops to a pristine blue sky, wondering who she might one day become. And somehow, one dream and inspiration led to the next, merging the influences of her mother Madeline and Martha, who were both there to celebrate the day Melody's Bakeshop first opened 2 decades ago. You step inside the shop, feeling the sun filter through the windows as you hang your coat, scarf, and weekender bag on a gleaming brass hook. Shadows dance on the yellow walls, surrounded by light pink and lavender moldings and turquoise wainscoting. The vibrant pastels inside the cozy shop are like being inside a rainbow, with swirls of color painted on the ceiling around refurbished chandeliers painted in shades of blue and green. Every colorful detail starkly contrasts the dark, muted earth tones of Melody's urban upbringing in the 1970s. It's a grown woman's childhood dream brought to life. As the old wooden floorboards creak beneath your feet, you pay attention to the enlarged photos that hang on the wall, capturing her journey. Sepia-toned prints display Melody as a 4-year-old girl in a brownstone apartment, her face and hands dusted with flour, with a blurred image of her mother laughing in the background. Another photo shows her sitting on the stoop of the general store in Vermont, with a floral fabric-lined wicker basket brimming with fresh crumb-top muffins made with local blueberries that she tries to sell. And hanging just above the antique cash register is an image of Melody wedged between her mother and Martha at the ribbon-cutting ceremony at the shop more than 20 years ago. The shop is quite spacious, with various colorful cafe tables spread throughout the dining area. Cozy nooks and window seats and chair swings offer the perfect spots for reading and sipping tea or coffee. The ambiance is warm and homey. The morning rush has come and gone. A so-called rush on a day like this means fewer than a dozen customers have wandered in. Over the decades, Melody has learned to not fret about the slow season, knowing it's a gift after the non-stop demand of the summer and holiday seasons. She calls out from the back of the shop to welcome you in. Her voice is exactly what one might hope to hear from a woman named Melody. A longtime acquaintance of her mother and Martha, a part of you has been awaiting this meeting for some time. When an invitation came for you to come visit her Rhode Island shop and stay at her guest house, you didn't hesitate to respond with an enthusiastic yes. You peruse the glass display case, featuring cupcakes with tufts of frosting, cannolis, eclairs, and an array of tarts. Baskets of the last remaining rustic baguettes sit atop white wireframe tables near the checkout. Melody steps out of the kitchen with a piping bag of rose pink buttercream in one hand and a big smile on her face. She wears a blue and white tie-dye apron over jeans and an ivory blouse. An unexpected homemade gift from a 10-year-old girl who visits every Sunday morning with her dad. The young girl petitioned for Melody to offer monthly baking classes for people of all ages, and she obliged. She sports a baker's cap over a thick, loose braid that runs to the middle of her back. There is a vitality in her spirit, a youthfulness in her radiant complexion and sparkling eyes. She has a timeless face and a button nose. She is the spitting image of her mother, Madeline. Melody invites you to get comfortable, gesturing with the piping bag to her favorite tufted high-back armchairs around a lavender table. You sink into the throne-like chair, running your hands across the violet velvet, feeling like a guest for tea in Wonderland. Bossa Nova cafe music softly plays in the background as you hear the distant tinkering of Melody as she finishes decorating a cake and preparing something for the two of you. Within minutes, she returns carrying a raspberry pink tray with 2 oversized mugs containing steamy drinks and an array of sweet bites and savory mini sandwiches and quiche. You rise to assist her, but she nods you away, insisting she's fine. Her hat and apron are now removed, revealing a natural sophistication to her movements and appearance. Fine laugh lines around her eyes and corner of her lips reveal a lifetime of good humor, as fading freckles on her nose tell stories of maritime adventures along the eastern seaboard. Before sitting across from you, she walks to the door and flips the open sign to reveal the store is now closed to anyone who may wander by. All the locals are already well aware of winter hours of most businesses, and that her shop closes generously at 3. Come sundown, day-old breads, pastries, and other specials of the day will become donations. During weekends, in the busier times of the year, Melody's Bakeshop employs aspiring bakers, chefs, students, and local retirees to help run the store and bakery. There's a strong community of souls who come together within the colorful walls of a place that evokes a sense of playfulness and enchantment. But on the sleepy weekdays of winter, she revels in appreciation and in the solitude that she enjoys in a shop that she always dreamt would be hers. You try the assortment of foods before you. They masterfully capture your favorite flavors in unique pastries and doughs and flavor combinations. Melody has included new recipes she's experimented with today, mixing a surprising blend of pistachio cream and mascarpone within an eclair shell topped with chocolate. Melody admits she's always eager to challenge her skills and try something new. Her eyes wander as she smiles and then looks closely into yours, secretly sharing she wishes she had been the one to come up with the cronut first. The blue skies outside become cast in a shade of lavender gray from incoming clouds traveling northerly. You sense the nip in the air, watching villagers run errands, bracing themselves differently from the chill than when you first arrived. Flurries fall steadily, quickening their pace as they land on the cobblestones and melt. Finished with your meal, Melody invites you to join her in the kitchen. You assist by gathering your dishes and following her behind the counter and through the swinging white doors into the back. With her guidance, you place the dishes in the empty rack of an industrial washing machine that efficiently cleans them in under 2 minutes. You stand still for a moment and take in the tranquil energy of the heart of the bakery, where sugary dreams begin. The kitchen is a captivating blend of vintage charm and modern practicality. Silver antique measuring cups, worn with the patina of time, stand proudly on sturdy wooden shelves alongside flour-dusted binders containing a history of countless recipes. Ceramic bowls, each with its own unique and bold color pattern, add a touch of nostalgia to the countertop. Amidst the aged beauty, gleaming new silver appliances catch your eye. State-of-the-art mixers and ovens shine with a lustrous brilliance, polished and reflective. Chrome fixtures frame the marble countertops, conjuring memories of mid-century diners and ice cream parlors. Every utensil finds its place in the meticulously organized kitchen. Shelves are adorned with neatly labeled jars of ingredients, creating a sense of comfort and ease. The pantry, a treasure trove of spices, also includes imported vanilla beans from Madagascar and bulk bags of sugar and flour, inspiring the confidence that one could find the right ingredients to create any baked good with ease. For a commercial kitchen, there's still a comfort to the space, as if visiting your grandmother's kitchen in a historic New England home. Floor-to-ceiling windows bathe the entire space in natural light and offer a connection to the world outside. You peer out to see a serene garden in the backyard, now dormant and dusted in snow. Just beyond the garden, through the barren trees of winter, you see an inlet reveal quiet docks and blue waves lapping against the rocky shore. Melody offers you an apron and cap that you put on, and she carefully double knots the tie-dye belt around her own. The marble countertops provide an expansive workspace for kneading dough and frosting cakes. The cool touch of the smooth stone contrasts with the warmth of the kitchen. As you move from one task to the next, following Melody's lead, you notice the layout is intuitive, a testament to her thoughtful design. A chalkboard in the front of the kitchen reveals the to-do list in Melody's cursive writing, and she patiently guides you in ways you can help. A flood of pleasant memories is conjured by the smells of sugar, vanilla, and butter blending together in the mixer as Melody skillfully cracks eggs to add to the mix. She talks about being a young girl in the city, arriving with her mother at the community center with surprise boxes of leftover cookies and cakes. She would watch how quickly even the most cantankerous kids in the program would suddenly smile when her mother arrived. As you scoop out cookie dough onto a sheet to be placed in the walk-in fridge overnight, Melody places a round cake on a marble revolving stand and quickly applies heaps of frosting. smoothing them with ease as the cake spins. Uneven piles quickly turn into smooth lines until at last the cake is perfectly iced. She grabs a piping bag to create flower petals along the edges, and your eyes softly focus on her graceful application. She explains how food can be the ultimate expression of love for some people, how discovering a long-lost recipe has the power to capture the flavors of a holiday or celebration buried deep in one's memories. Nothing quite activates a beloved memory like a certain smell, and Melody reveals some of her greatest moments have been when one of her creations enlivens those deep feelings of home and love. As the snow outside comes down harder, Melody finishes the cake and brings you to a simple mixture of starter, flour, water, and salt. You watch as a bread hook kneads the dough, stretching the elasticy, tacky mixture to create bubbles. You help her clean and run the efficient dishwasher with a sense of accomplishment to see the kitchen gleaming and organized once more. With her guidance, you return to the bread dough and help to divide it, setting it in a place to rise throughout the night. Come morning, it will be the first her part-time assistant attends to before going to school. And when she comes in to bake the bread, she will fill the village with the smell of fresh baguettes and crusty boule loaves. Melody continues with the soothing ritual of closing down the bakery. The gentle hum of the ovens subsides, and the aromas of freshly baked goods and fermenting yeast linger in the air. She invites you to grab any leftover or unsold treats you would like, and then puts the rest in the boxes waiting in the front of the shop. Like clockwork, a young man named Jimmy arrives, and she lets him in, sending him off into the snow with donations that will bring joy to those attending bingo night at the local nursing home. With meticulous care, she turns off the lights, one section at a time, until the amber glow of street lamps illuminate the shop. You both bundle for the cold and gather your bags. The village is remarkably quiet. Not a single car or person crosses your path on the walk back to her home. The wind, carrying whispers of the Atlantic, swirls the snowflakes into delicate spirals along the glittery cobblestone sidewalks. Icicles form and dangle from the roofs of colorful Victorian houses, reflecting amber light that pours out of the windows to create a picturesque scene against the winter night. Arriving at Melody's charming two-story saltbox home behind a picket fence, a mixture of curiosity and gratitude welcomes you. She leads you down a winding path to the guest house in the back, promising views of the marina. The snow crunches beneath your boots as you follow her through the path, and the anticipation of warmth and comfort grows with each step. Entering the 3-room guest house is like stepping into a haven of memories. Melody helps you with your coat, hanging it along with hers on a coat tree. She explains that this is where her mother often stays when visiting, and the walls tell the tale of a life well lived by her. Photos of Melody as a child in Manhattan adorn the walls, telling a story of her relationship with her mother through the decades. One photo, capturing her as a 3-year-old girl in Central Park, reveals her standing between honorary grandparents, Dorothy and Ed, with cherry blossoms in full bloom around them. Another frame captures her as a toddler in a basement laundrette, sleeping atop a pile of freshly laundered towels in an oversized wicker basket. On the mantle, you see a photo of her mother standing on the Brooklyn Bridge at sunset, looking like Melody's twin from another era. Melody effortlessly starts a fire in the stone hearth, the flames casting a warm glow across the room. The crackling of the wood is a comforting sound, and the flickering light dances on the photographs, bringing them to life. Melody thanks you for coming to visit, saying you are welcome to stay as long as you wish. With a genuine smile, she offers a warm hug, wishing you a good night before she bundles up once more and slips outside to return home. Settling into a rocking chair by the fire, you peer out through the windows as the snow continues its gentle descent. The warm glow of the fire and the soft crackling sound create a tranquil ambiance. As you reflect on the day at the bakery, your mind considers all the influences a soul makes use of as inspiration on the path to self-discovery. Melody's life story inspires you to consider your own, feeling a deep sense of honor for all the parts of you that were at one point inspired or enlivened by someone else. Outside, the snowflakes twirl and the harbor walk becomes postcard worthy in its blanket of new snow. The cold shift is a reminder of how quickly things can change and how easier it is to embrace changes like this than to fight them. The rocking chair gently sways, and you find solace in the quietude, surrounded by the warmth of the fire and the memories that linger like the gentle snow outside. It's a moment to cherish. A night in the coastal village that leaves an indelible mark of comfort and connection. The weariness of the day settles in, and with a gentle sigh, you rise from the rocking chair and gather your bag, leaving the cozy, firelit room behind. The cottage-core aesthetic of the bedroom showcases antique furniture, crocheted blankets, and nautical knickknacks. Ceramic vases adorned with intricate patterns, cradle-dried lavender sprigs that leave a trace of their sweet, sleepy perfume. The soft glow of a ruby glass hurricane lamp casts a warm ambiance, highlighting the details of the cottage-inspired decor. In the bathroom, a quick hot shower softens your muscles as you find remnants of flour stubbornly sticking on your arms and hands. Steam fills the room as you step out and wrap yourself in a plush towel. As the steam dissipates, you change into pajamas, the fabric soft against your skin as you brush your teeth. You return to the bedroom and settle beneath the fluffy lavender comforter. The mattress cradles you in its embrace, and your head sinks into the pillows with a sigh of contentment. You turn off the hurricane lamp. The lingering scent of vanilla and brown sugar, reminiscent of the day spent in Melody's bakery, is a subtle reminder of the warmth and sweetness that filled the air. It's a comforting fragrance that lingers, creating a bridge between the bustling day and the tranquility of night. The guest house room invites you to surrender to the embrace of sleep. And as you close your eyes, the sounds of the wind whipping through the harbor outside fade into a distant lullaby. The warmth of the bed comforts you, and the fatigue of the day melts away. Your journey from wakefulness to slumber is seamless, guided by the gentle scent and the comfort of the cottage core surroundings. this tranquil moment, you drift into a deep sleep, carried away by the promise that this is winter's last call, feeling a sense of profound safety and peace, finding comfort, finding release, finding bliss, finding sleep. It's time to dream away.